Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. It's Tuesday, October 14th, and I've been watching some Asmongold videos. This other guy, I can't remember his name, is getting sued by a couple of people. Just to give you some context of what I've been doing while I've been setting up shows, he's getting sued by other content creators for showing some of their weather updates on his stream, or allegedly he is, because he got paperwork. He got a summons delivered to him. So it's just interesting because that brings up a point, because you have a lot of people that are like Asmongold, that are like this guy. I forget they mentioned it at some point. That do kind of reactionary videos, so they watch other people's videos, and then it's their reaction and response or thoughts to it. So the question is everyone's videos copyrighted, or are they kind of a free use, right? And I guess the court has to, a judge has to decide if someone has gone too far over the edge or not, and kind of violated that. In my personal opinion, I think that your video that you make getting circulated around, either with somebody doing an analysis of it and shitting on it, or going through it and making point, counterpoint, or whatever as they're going through it, it's almost a little bit of free press for you, right? I don't necessarily see the problem with that. If you're going to be upset because people aren't going directly to your page to see that content, what if they don't know who you are? Then how do they get to your page to see the content? But if there's been a couple of creators that I found by watching Asmongold, for example, that I thought were interesting. So I subscribe to their pages and follow them myself now. I would not have known who they were if Asmongold or somebody like him hadn't done a reaction video on their page. Now, I know some of the other content creators' anger is going to be that you using their content on your page is getting you views and clicks, and you're making money off of it, and they're not getting their cut, right? So like playing an artist song, but you didn't pay for the rights to it. It's that sort of thing, and it's just taking over in the internet realm. And I guess it's a little bit of a catch-22, because do the same things apply? Just like I can't play any music unless I'm paying for the rights for it. So I pay for Apple iTunes, so I have access to all the songs that they have, because they're paying gratuities to all of the artists or all of the labels that provide the music. So is it the same thing here? If I'm watching someone's video, or these guys are doing it in this particular circumstance, and they're not giving a gratuity to the other person they're showing, are they now in violation or something? I guess that's just future arguments. But I digress. That's not the reason I was doing this video. I was just curious about how all of that breaks down. What we've got here with the ceasefire in Gaza now, all the Gazans are returning, and the roaches are coming back out of their holes, and the roaches being Hamas. So right now, Hamas is trying to retake power again. Hamas has killed at least 33 people publicly in the middle of the street. I'm going to show a little bit of the video that the internet will allow. I don't want the video to be taken down, so I've got to be careful about what it shows. But as you can see here, they're setting up people. Palestinians are all just kind of gathered around. For all of the Palestinians being upset about Hamas being in control of Gaza and the West Bank, they love to hang out and watch the show. I get told about, well, it's the innocent Palestinians and it's the Hamas that's really bad that's doing all this. And then you see a video like this where all the Palestinians are gathered around to take video, not to help in any way, shape, or form. If you look at this crowd and just take a guess, there's well over 100 people, and there's like 7 Hamas soldiers. 4, 5, 6, 7. But you can make an argument that there's a couple more right here. So 8, 9, roughly 10 Hamas soldiers. Yes, they are armed. Palestinians could be armed too. They could have weapons of their own. They could have knives. They could rush them. They outnumber the Hamas soldiers, and they could put a stop to this shooting. Instead, they're all standing around watching it, video recording it, and watching these people that helped either Israel or helped to fight back against Hamas be executed in the middle of the street. And you wonder why people don't have any sympathy for Palestine, because it's basically like the Pirates Den and Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like there's not really any rules. It's a Wild West. Whatever you do, you do. Whatever you feel like doing, you want to do. So Hamas kills at least 33 people in a crackdown on collaborators and traitors. Trump was said to suggest he gave the group temporary approval to manage internal security in Gaza as it sees fit. Now, I tend to believe this because when we pulled out of Afghanistan, we had an agreement with the Taliban that they could take over and run the show again when we left. This was to facilitate the peaceful fallback of our soldiers. So we said, okay, we're going to fall back in an orderly fashion. We're going to abandon the major air base, Al-Assad or something like that air base. We're going to abandon that base. That's going to get turned over to you. You're going to have control of that. We're going to fall back to the city, and we're going to fly out of the regional airport that's there. And the only thing you have to do as part of the agreement was the Taliban had to ensure that our soldiers weren't harmed. They were able to retreat safely and get off the ground and get out of the area. That ended up not really being the case because I think maybe, I'm trying to remember correctly, but 13 soldiers were either injured or killed in the retreat. And they tried to say that it wasn't the Taliban that did that. It was ISIS soldiers or another terrorist group that ended up showing up and trying to hit them with explosives and surprise attacks. So the bottom line here is I don't know why this is happening. It's never a good idea to make an agreement with a terrorist organization that's just a bunch of animals, that they're going to take over security in running a particular area while the other side pulls out. So you had Israel attacking, you had the Palestinians retreating or moving to other areas, sleeping on the outskirts of the city in tents or something, and you had Hamas scurrying like rats to hide in their tunnels and do everything. Israel leaves as part of this agreement and completely falls back. They've left Gaza to the Palestinians, and there's no American force there either. And Hamas comes out of their holes and starts taking over and hurting people, shootings in the middle of the street. Here's some more video here of Hamas soldiers, Hamas fighters patrol Gaza streets, defying Trump's peace deal. The Hamas soldiers all look like dads who got told by their wives, you need to get out of the house and get a hobby. None of them look like the quintessential soldier, right? They all look like they had maybe soccer practice at 1 and then get together with your terrorist buddies to patrol the streets at 3. So these are allegedly Hamas soldiers. I mean, they're just like posing for the camera. I don't know what it is currently that they are supposed to be doing. They're sitting there doing a little photo session for everybody. Look at us and look at our cool guns. So here's the video here, and I'm just going to have to be careful about this ends up cutting out. All right, so they pause it. You hear some of this, and obviously it's it's insinuated, and you are aware that they've set this up as a firing squad, and they're killing all of these people. I mean, and the other Palestinians are recording this, like just like in America when a YouTuber shows up at the mall or something, and like 100,000 people and teeny boppers show up, and they're all recording everything. But in Palestine, you do it for Hamas, and you record that because that's the most exciting thing that happened. Now, the Palestinians are supposed to have lost all their homes. All of their neighborhoods have just been knocked to the ground, and it's nothing. But they're able to find the time to get together in a large group here and video record Hamas shooting sympathizers in the middle of the street with 0 people. This is at a hospital, by the way. It's what it's claiming. One member is from Hamas's elite shadow unit. Hamas executes over 30 Gazans in a crackdown. Several masked gunmen shoot with machine guns. This is from the Times now. At least 7 men forced to kneel in the street. Hamas brutal punishment to Gazans caught on cam. Spectators cheer Allahu Akbar and called those killed collaborators. Does any of this sound like the poor innocent Palestinians that don't have anything to do about what's going on? I've argued this from the beginning. A lot of people have strong feelings about Israel. There are those that hate Israel and believe that they're causing a genocide and they're involved in American politics and it's a big problem. And other ones that are like, Israel's doing what it has to do and it's great. But regardless of where you are in all of that, I don't know how you can look at stuff like this and say the poor innocent Palestinians, they were just victims and they were being attacked. When the people that were trying to help the Palestinians are shot in the street, and the other Palestinians are shouting, Allahu Akbar, God is great, and calling them collaborators. And October 7th, by the way, when Hamas snuck into Israeli territory and killed families and robbed Jewish homes, etc., Palestinian civilians participated in that as well. I did a video on that at the time. And showed proof. They came over with their motorcycles. They came over with bicycles. And they were some of the Palestinian civilians were some of the ones that helped bring the Jewish hostages back over to the Gaza side. It wasn't Hamas by itself. The Palestinian people themselves participated in it. Now you see more of that right here. And this is why me personally, I'm never really going to have sympathy for the Palestinian people because it's just a Wild West over there. It's just a terrorist haven, and no one can live a peaceful life if you have a terrorist nation right on your doorstep. And you're seeing this happening here. The Taliban took over their area and subjugated women and children, killed men who are collaborators with the United States. Same deal over there, too. You can't negotiate with terrorists. We shouldn't be doing it right now. And regardless of what everyone's feelings are, in my personal opinion, one way or another, you should have let Israel finish the job. We shouldn't have stepped in. We shouldn't have gotten involved. It's not our problem to begin with. It's their region of the world. Let them figure all of this out. And we backed off. And it's just like a Vietnam all over again. America pulls out, a Western power pulls out, and all of the bad elements take over. And then there's a purge of everyone that was an opponent, everyone that collaborated. In hundreds of thousands more innocents get killed after all the atrocities that were happening to begin with. So it was a genocide when Israel was doing it, but the question to the left, what do you call it now that Hamas is back to it and there are 0 Israelis involved in all of this killing? So just curious. I'm just wondering if you're going to keep walking around with the Palestinian flags and you're going to advocate for the people to not be brutally taken over by Hamas and treated this way. And then there's a split between those that don't want anything to do with it and those that are cheering and love Hamas. So you got to figure out that element too. So that's the update for today. I'll have more coming throughout the week. Thanks, everyone. Please like, share, and support and subscribe. Most importantly, to the show. We're on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch now as well, and TikTok, and we're growing on all the pages. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to everybody real soon.